Hello, everyone. Matt Malatesta and Matthew Ogle. We are bringing you the Whataburger Team of the Week. Kingwood Baseball had a huge series against Memorial. Memorial was that team, everybody's darling in the state of Texas. Kingwood comes in, boom, done. How did they do it? Kingwood Baseball.
Oh, I think they took advantage of they have a very cohesive lineup whenever it comes to their batting, and I think everyone was expecting Memorial's pitching to propel them that far, but that first game that Alex attended 10-5, second game they sealed it 5-2. Second year coach Michael Oros, something's in the water. I've been drinking that water, but I'm really pleased to see how they're doing. Obviously, like Ben Mayorga, their pitcher, Caden Callaway's infielder, they got a lot of weapons, and they're rolling 34-3, have the potential to reach the state tournament for the first time since 2005, whenever they won it.
How about that? Kingwood Baseball. Man, they look really, really good. They're D2 as well. I think that's going to bode well for them as they continue to extend their playoff run.
Especially because they have Katie Taylor's balling too, but I think Kingwood definitely has a favorable matchup compared to some of the other regional matchups that we're going to be previewing soon. But anyways, I love the baby blue, obviously on the softball side as well. Keep rolling, Mustangs.
The uniforms are pretty trippy. All right, Matthew Malatesta, Matthew Ogle. This is the Whataburger Team of the Week, the Kingwood Mustangs baseball team. What's going on, everybody? Matt Malatesta, Jackson DePasquale, Matthew Ogle. We're talking softball. Softball is softballing in the city of Houston. We knew it. We knew we were going to do this. So we've got Liberty in 4A. We've got Lake Creek. We've got Barbers Hill. We've got Kingwood. We have Kingwood, and we have Clear Springs, all with a chance of advancing to the state finals, which will be next week. All right, let's break these bad boys down. Clear Springs plays East Central in our Class 6A D1 state semi. You, my friend, are Mr. Clear Springs. For the love of God. Matthew Ogle, Alex Henson has been inside the locker room, inside the dugout with these kids. What are your thoughts?
Oh, they stole my admiration. Honestly, after watching them in that Atascocita series, that first game or that second game that could have sealed it. I obviously told you. I told them I was supposed to go to Lake Creek for their finale, but after Atascocita tied it up, I'm like, no way. I have to go watch this last game. Their offense is championship caliber, and I am just so impressed by what Jennifer Knight has accomplished with this group. Their defense, they're starting to click, but their offense, they've shown they can hit on anybody. Katie, Atascocita, it doesn't matter. I got them to sign this bad boy. They have one. I was so happy to give them that. I was so happy to have this. I really would love to see them win it all. Records were made to be broken. They've already made history by reaching this point. I think they sweep East Central. I think they reach the state final, and I think Alex and I watched them win it all.
Bam!
Sorry, Whataburger.
Oh my God. There's a lot going on here. When cash comes in, we got the cash cam going.
Yeah.
A lot of things happening. So, Clear Springs, I really do think they've got that vibe this year. I think they really do. I think they're a fun team to watch. A, they got a lot of energy. B, C, dude, they're so young.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know what they're doing, really. They're just out there just balling out. They don't really get caught up in the moment as it relates to like the lights are too bright for them. They're just like, hey, let's play some ball. So that's really cool.
Their freshmen step up. Mackenzie Thomas, obviously. Ariana Garcia, she's one of the lone seniors on the team. Her younger sister, who's a freshman, hit a grand slam in game 2 in the first inning. That's kind of what kicked it off. What I like about a lot of these matchups that we're going to see is we have a lot of very similar teams. Because, for East Central, they're 24-11. Clear Springs, they're 24-7, so they're kind of pretty evenly matched, I think. But let's see what the offense has to say about that.
Your other team you're obsessed with is who? The Kingwood Mustangs. Kingwood Mustangs play Dripping Springs. We were at Dripping Springs and we saw them earlier in the year just because we were out there for a media day. Beautiful campus, cool uniforms. All that being said, I still think Kingwood gets it done with one of the best coaches in the state of Texas, one of the best leaders of women, and Addie Shepard going to Stanford. I think they get it done against Dripping Springs.
I concur
Thank you.
wholeheartedly. Dripping Springs is no stranger to the state stage. They reached it in 2017, but Kingwood in recent years, they are certainly no stranger. This is the second year in a row they've reached the state Final Four. And it's not just Addie Shepard. As much as I love her, I think their greatest weapon is their pitcher, Hunter Quintel, because she not only can shut down an opposing team's batting lineup, she can bat herself. And I think what also is another great what has helped to elevate this group is the talent spread across their batting order. Because I mean, you got Mia Gagliardi, you got Leilani Garcia, you got Kendall Yates, you got, and they're like even their 9-hole hitter, Bella Mata, she can hit well too. So that just goes to show you this team. They are vibing. They play today actually in their first game, but then they play, I believe, Friday and then, or I think, let me double check this.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, whatever. They play they play Wednesday today, Thursday, then Saturday.
Right.
So they get a little rest. But I don't even think they need to play Saturday. I think they win it on Thursday.
All at Caldwell High School as
Yes.
well. Okay, 5A-D1, staying with softball, is Barbers Hill playing Smithson Valley. Case
It's a one gamer.
That is a big deal
Mhm.
because Smithson Valley's thinking, hey, let's just catch these girls, not off guard, but like catch them in a one game. You know, it's the same names. It's Nutter, of course, the stud. Their young pitcher's so good for Barbers Hill. I just think they have that experience of being there over and over and over again.
Mhm.
I think they can advance to this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Coach Aaron Fuller, he's very familiar with this territory. I mean, the team themselves, they last reached in 21. This is the fifth time they've ever reached this point. But what's been most impressive is like one of their better hitters, Peyton Helmley, has been injured most of the season, if not all of it. And they've had all these other players step up in response to that. And she's her catcher too. So like that relationship is crucial for a pitcher. And I mean, Nutter, she's locked in. You can't stop her. And I think they win handily at Waller High against Smithson Valley. I will be attending that game. I'm very excited to see how they do today or tomorrow, I should say.
Lake Creek in the 5A-D2. You got Lake Creek playing Rouse. Lake Creek has not lost a game all season. Again, super young team, super balanced, great pitching, fun to watch, really good coaching. They're going to win again. They're going to beat Rouse.
Well, I said it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you said I was crazy. I said they're not losing a game all year.
I did say that.
I don't think they're losing at all. And Sarah Wiggins, you keep churning, baby. Chesney Davis, you keep churning. Madeline Davis, the leadoff hitter. I'm ready. They have another Davis on the team. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. That's a lot of Davises to keep up with Candace Carter, but good on you for optimizing that lineup. And I think you're going to get your third ring, third one in 4 years, mind you.
That's amazing. Awesome. All right, so we're going to bring in Jackson also on these
5 years, I should say.
Predictions. 6A-D1, Clear Springs, do they advance?
I say yes. I say they win it all.
Okay, advance past over Eastview.
East Central, yes.
East Central. I'm going to go Clear Springs too.
I'm going Clear Springs.
Kingwood versus Dripping Springs.
Clean sweep, baby!
I'm going 3-game series. I think Dripping Springs are going to get one.
I would say that too. I'm going to go 3-game series, but Kingwood wins. Barbers Hill, do they advance?
I think they win 9-1.
Dadgum, that's aggressive. All right.
It's specific.
Jackson, what do you think?
Okay, so this is the first year Barbersville hasn't had to play Lake Creek in the playoffs, and that's typically been the matchup over the past couple of years, which is why Barbersville hasn't necessarily advanced to the state semifinal game. So this is the first year since 21. I think this is going to be a close game, opposite of Oaks. I'm going close game because it's a 1-game series. Smithson Valley has some energy around the school because their football team won state, so that typically means the other programs start doing well. Close win for Barstow. One run game.
I'm going to go Barbers Hill also. I'm not predicting the scores, but I think Barbers Hill just has that experience factor. They're going to win. Lake Creek, finally. Does Lake Creek get to another state final? Yes or no? We know your answer.
Clean sweep, baby!
What do you think, Jackson?
It's a 3-game series, right?
Yeah.
Who do they play?
Rouse.
I don't think. I don't know if Rouse.
I think
state
they
experience.
win, but they do lose their first game. I think that happens.
That puts some pressure on them.
I mean,
I
think
do like
about
it.
Finishing a season perfect undefeated. It's not done often. Obviously, Lake Creek has done it before,
Mhm.
but
They had Ava Brown, but Sarah Wiggins and Chesney Davis. They can rely on 2 different pitchers. Need be.
I'm still thinking they drop one here.
They could drop one. Here's the thing. Think about this. Lake Creek has always played against big 5A talent, meaning now they're playing in the Division 2 of 5A. So that for me says I think Lake Creek wins it all, but I do think they might lose a game this weekend.
Yeah,
Rouse is solid.
Yeah,
Barbers Hill might have a little test because Melissa's on the other side of that bracket
You're
in
talking
D1.
about the very end,
in
yeah.
D1. So that would be a
We'll save that for next week.
Yeah, that'd be an awesome game to witness if it comes to the fruition.
I won't put you on the spot. We need to start thinking about players of the year, coaches of the year, stories of the year. One of the wildest stories of this softball season, because you're like Google of freaking Houston area softball. Google wrapped in an encyclopedia. People don't even know what an encyclopedia is Chavez High School out of HISD going a couple rounds deep in the playoffs. How did that happen?
They lost in the second round.
That's still, regardless, that is out of this.
I mean, yeah, they defeated Stratford in the opener. I believe they lost to Cyfair.
That's huge. Stratford is good.
They're a solid program. They're a consistent playoff team.
Yeah.
But that's a wild story.
I say coach of the year is Jennifer Knight, Clear Springs.
I would 100% say that. Do you have any, what's your storyline, your headline of softball?
Headline of the year? I think it's definitely Clear Springs, also Conroe. What they did this year,
that was impressive.
Reaching the regional final. Obviously, they weren't able to get past
Midway's tough.
Midway, but reaching the regional final for probably the first time in a long time, or maybe even first
Ever,
time.
I think.
It was the first time ever, yeah.
So I think that's a big storyline, but I think like a player storyline. I mean, Aaron Polite hitting that 3-run bomb to win against Katie. I think that's up there for player of the year
that was
play
a
of the
moment.
year.
That was
a moment.
That's probably one. I mean, I wish I was there to see it, but I mean, I saw some pretty dang good moments against Atascocita. I like Mackenzie Thomas on that team. Her dad's her biggest cheerleader. We're like right on the net. He and I talked for hours during that game. But Erin Polite, she's the one that did that for them. I mean, they're balling, and there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, another story is Katie, who is loaded, didn't win a state championship, didn't even get to the state Final Four. It seemed like every year a team sneaks up on them in the playoffs and gets them. But with that being said, we're not going to end on a sour note. We're going to end on a good note. We could have 5 state champions coming from the greater Houston area. Stay tuned next week. We're going to break it all down again, going into state weekend, the state final weekend. It's Matt, Jackson. Follow us on all of our social media channels and like and subscribe to everything high school sports in Greater Houston. We'll see y'all at the games.
Clean sweep, baby!
Hello, everyone. It is regional finals baseball. It's been a long season. Matt Malatesta, Matthew Ogle, Jackson DePasquale. We are talking baseball, playoffs. It's exciting. We have been kind of clean with the rain, so we haven't had all these weird postponements and stuff. Yeah, so that's great. All right, so let's get right into it. 6A, Region 3, D1, the heavyweight battle is Pearland playing Atascocita. Atascocita, of course, beat Katy, which was a pretty good 3-game series. And Pearland, people were kind of like throwing dirt on Pearland a little bit, Earlier in the season, they didn't maybe get off to a tremendous start. They're rolling.
Yeah,
They're rolling.
absolutely.
Give me the breakdown of what do you think happens here?
I think Pearland. I think it goes to game 3. I think it's going to be a tough battle because Atascocita, as you mentioned, beat Katy in game 3, and that's no easy task. But Pearland, I think they're making their third straight trip to state, and it's gonna be a battle. They're gonna be playing at U of H all 3 games, and I really wish I could go see it, but my friendship bracelet still isn't on. Nico Partita, love what you're doing, man. I spoke with him after the game. Texted him, and he said, I was asking, who else pitches? He said, usually Grant Shepard, he pitches game 1. I tend to pitch game 2, but they got a lot of depth on that lineup. Walker Hurst, he's great. Aiden Avalos, and then Logan Johnson. The list goes on. David Rogers, legendary coach. He's going to take them back to the state for the 3rd time, and maybe this is the time they finally get that. We'll talk about it next week if they do end up winning. But 1980 was the last time they won it all, and that would be dope to make history.
1980. Wow.
Yeah.
I was watching Oklahoma baseball in a tournament or something like that. And Barfield was pitching. Remember, Barfield from Pearland. I think it was last year, maybe
Yeah.
2 years ago. Yeah, he was pitching. That was kind of cool to see. Thoughts on Pearland, Atascocita?
Yeah, Atascocita played a really tough Katy team, took them to 3 games, were able to beat them in that 3rd game to advance, and then you look at Pearland, I believe they clean swept Lamar.
Yeah.
You see what Partita's doing on the mound, also with his bat. I think that Pearland's experience is going to play here. Atascocita hasn't been here in a minute, I feel like, at least to the regional final.
2014 was the last time.
Yeah, so it's been a little while, but Atascocita is also a storied baseball program that's had some players drafted and seen players have success at the next level. But I think Pearland gets a win here. Partita keeps doing what he's doing. The rest of that team keeps doing what they're doing. They advance to the state semifinal.
Another big heavyweight matchup. Also in Class 6A D2, maybe the story of the year. Klein-Cain Hurricanes. Blaine Bullard, the Texas A&M commit, also he brings a football mentality a little bit to that baseball team. They play Midway. Midway knocked off Conroe in 3 games. And Klein-Cain played a very tough Rockwall to advance to where they're at now. So I'm a big fan of what Cain is doing. And that coach has not been there very long, A. B, they don't really have a history, but that doesn't matter, I guess. Neither did Klein-Cain soccer, and they won a state championship. Yeah. So
history's made to be made.
I'm excited to see what Cain does this weekend. Can they keep this ball rolling?
I spoke with Neil Weisner before the season even started, whenever we had their media day, and I don't know. I felt like there was something different about this team. And obviously, you witnessed them play, what was it, the Woodlands?
Mm-hmm.
Blaine, he's their go-to hitter, but they got a lot of other pieces. Braden Cox, he's doing well. But each win they make, the stronger they get. And I would really love to see them reach state. Klein-Cain Soccer did it. Who knows? Baseball might be next.
They got that swag right now as a school.
Rand Cain is having a year.
Yes. What do you think?
After watching Klein-Cain, and also I was able to watch some of their games on a live stream that was happening. But looking at Cain, they've played in some tight games where maybe they have a lead and teams are able to tie it up, and then maybe they do have to go to extra innings. They've showed a lot of adversity, and they now have won a few games where they have, had a lead, the lead gets tied, or they lose a lead and they're able to come back. So the experience and the of playing in those close games is starting to play out now. Blaine Bullard is by far the guy who stirs the pot there and gets things going. Switch hitter, does a lot of things in the outfield for them as well. I think that Klein-Cain wins the series and advances to the state semifinal for the first time in school history for baseball. Now, we'll see kind of where we go from there. They'll have to play, I believe, a tough it'll be a tough Dallas team in that
More than likely. Yeah.
next round. But I think Klein Kane gets the win here. Honestly, think they sweep. I think they sweep Midway here.
They swept the Woodlands, and the Woodlands was the number 1 team at the time.
And then they swept Rockwall.
And then they swept Rockwall. So
they're in a sweep trend right now.
Meaning that their confidence is very high because they took down 2 superpowers in baseball. Why not us? Why not us, says Klein Kane. Okay, so we're moving on to you saw Katie Taylor last week. Katie Taylor hadn't been a fixture in baseball in a while. They play a tough Kingwood team, and we are obsessed with Kingwood as of right now. What does Katie Taylor have to do to win this series?
Pray.
Okay, Jackson, what do you think?
I disagree. This is the 6A Division 2 Region 3 final. I was able to watch Katie Taylor. They play a lot of small ball. They do this. They execute the small different things part of the game. They stole a lot of bags last week. Bunts, laid down a lot of bunts. Bryce Krennick, the Texas pitcher, pitched basically a complete game. They were down 3-0 in the first inning. They came back and ended up winning that game on a walk-off kind of crazy situation. But this is a Taylor team now that is hungry. They know everyone's doubting them. They're going to know everyone's going to be doubting them in this series. I am going to pick the upset here. I know Ogle doesn't like this, his Kingwood bias over here. But I'm going Katie Taylor.
Says the Woodlands bias guy.
I'm going Katie
Gotcha.
Taylor in a 3-game series, and they get the win.
I will say they are aggressive, and they're punching upward, and it's worked out for them so far. Clear Lake, I wouldn't say that was a favorable matchup, but that was one that kind of flew under the radar for a lot of fans. But Kingwood, they do have a great pitcher in that Texas commit, Tyler
Krennic.
Yeah. But Kingwood, as we mentioned in the Whataburger, they make do with what they have, and it's worked out for them thus far. They got 34-3. Sam Houston State alum Michael Oros, eat him up. He's doing phenomenal things in his second year, I think. And I saw an interesting fact: the last time a baseball team and a softball team from the same school won a state championship was in 21 with Barbers Hill, which that still is on the table right now. But Kingwood softball's rolling, Kingwood baseball's rolling. What a storyline would that be?
Well, the Kingwood just beat Memorial, so they've seen elite pitching, and they kind of killed Memorial
10-5 and then 5-2. Yeah,
right. So I think they're going to continue on. They're going to continue on.
Battle of the Mustangs, going with Katie Taylor. Book it.
Okay. Tomball Cy Woods in 6A D2 Region 2. This is a great matchup. Kind of sleepy good matchup. Tomball won state last year, of course. Great young pitchers. Just a D1 lineup. I'm not sure they were going to think that all of the departures from last year would affect them so much, but they're not the same team as last year, but they're still great. Cy Woods is a team that made a tremendous run a couple years ago, and they are really well coached, and they have some solid pitching also. I'm rolling the dice here. I'm going with Cy Woods. I just think that Tomball just doesn't have exactly enough to get past Cy Woods this week.
Well, I mean, yeah, for Cy Woods, it is impressive what Phil Schwartz is able to accomplish.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Yes. Like in his first year, they went to the state.
Yes.
In his first year, they went to the state semis.
Right.
Their pitcher, Cam Newman, he's doing good things, but Tomball, like you said, they got the dugout. They've got
the dugout. What does that mean?
I meant I keep confusing those words. The bullpen.
Oh, the bullpen.
They got the bullpen, but they got the batters with Catcher Hopkins. They got Harper Gates. They got Garrett Heckathorn. I mean, What a name that is. Also,
Yeah.
Hector Thorne. I don't know. Doug Rush, he's very calm, cool, and collected. Keeps everything close to the vest, and I don't see them losing. I think they get the sweep here.
No. Continue on.
Did you watch the last round of the playoffs for Tomball? Do you know what Tomball won by in their 1-game series?
One game.
Can you guess what they won by?
I don't
They played
care.
11.
They
played
played
2.
Tyler
It was
freaking.
1-0, then 11-1.
Okay,
They played
won
Tyler
11-1.
Legacy.
Oh, hold on.
Tyler, Texas, bro.
CJ Sampson, Florida.
I get all these D1s. D1s
Carson
don't make your
Reeder.
team amazing.
When you have 2 on your pitching staff, it does, though.
We'll see.
Harper
We'll
Gates,
see.
Catcher Hopkins, the rest of that team, they are going to smoke
Is that
Cy
what?
Woods and sweep them.
That's
Okay.
still D2, right?
Yeah.
D2, Region 2.
Who's Kingwood could play Tomball in the final. That'd be dope.
Yeah. Okay, so then we're going to 5A, D1, Region 3, Barbers Hill, playing Anderson. Barbers Hill, like you said, won in 2021. Coach Denny, one of the best coaches in the state of Texas. I think Barbers Hill continues their winning ways and beats Anderson. Anderson had a little controversy last week.
Yep.
With kind of a defensive play anyways, they had kind of a controversial.
There was a controversial collision. We can just say
yes,
that.
let's call it that. I think Anderson, however, beat Lake Creek last week.
No, Anderson is in D1. Lake Creek was in.
No, Lake Creek baseball was in D1. It's separated
That's right.
in
That's
softball.
right. No, yeah, they did beat Lake Creek. You're right.
Yes.
You're right. My fault.
So they did that play was against Lake Creek.
It might have been.
Anderson.
It might have been, yeah.
Anyways, we'll get back to that later. I feel like Barbers Hill advances.
I concur. David Denny's been there for almost as long as I've been alive, and it's been remarkable what he's been able to accomplish with just that small community, that small batch of players to work with. But they've got a very deep bullpen whenever it comes to Aiden Mooring, Bridger Thomas, Jorge Garcia, but their lineup, their batting order, they make things happen. They get things done. They're 32-6. I think they go 34-6 and reach state once again.
Okay. What do you think?
This is a 3-game series.
Yep.
Where's it being played?
Waller.
It goes Waymer Veterans, or is it Weimer
Yeah.
Veterans? And then it goes Waller on Saturday. So they play first game on Thursday, second game on Saturday. If it needs to go to game 3, it's a doubleheader.
Yeah.
Same location.
3-game series, but Barbers Hill wins.
And then Class 5A D2, Region 3, Kingwood Park versus Nederland. You chill out. He went to
Fighting Matthew Ogles.
Fighting Matthew Ogles. He went to Kingwood Park. He's all jazzed up. I don't see Kingwood Park winning this. Nederland is a proud Southeast Texas gritty dirtbag program.
They haven't been
Down goes KP.
They haven't been like a superpower since the 50s and then the 90s.
Right, so they're due.
Maybe. I don't know. Kingwood Park last reached it in 2018. Second year head coach, Chris Bocher or Becker. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. I am so excited for y'all. As he said, the Fighting Matthew Ogles. And I'm going to keep rolling with my KP.
All right, KP Nederland. Thoughts?
I'm going Kingwood Park. I think it'll be a 3-game series because Nederland's been playing hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Kingwood Park reaches the state semifinal. I believe the last time they made it was, I believe they made a state semifinal in 2018 or a state runner-up.
It was 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
So this would be historic. We're going to go through some predictions. You pick every Houston team in softball and baseball. You realize that?
I'm going to trademark my clean sweep, baby.
Okay, so baseball, Pearland advances. We feel like Pearland advances. Yes.
Yes.
Pearland. Yes. Okay, Klein Kane advances in 3. I'm going to go with Klein Kane.
Klein King.
Rain.
Kingwood. Very high on Kingwood. I do think this is a sweep in 2. They play Katie Taylor.
Sweet.
He's going Katie Taylor. Bold. Tomball playing Cy Woods. I'm saying Cy Woods, and y'all are going
Tomball.
I'll backtrack a little bit. It might not be a sweep, but I still agree that Tomball
Sweep.
wins.
Sweep.
Barbers Hill. I feel like they're gonna. I'm not sure it's a sweep, but they're gonna advance.
Yeah.
And then finally, Kingwood Park playing Nederland. I'm going Southeast Texas. Nederland.
KP.
KP.
That's it. You've heard it here. All right. With that being said, we will get back to you next week as we profile the regional state semis.
It'd be
the
state semis. And then the state final on softball.
Yeah. So big week next week as well. Okay. Matt Malatesta, Matthew Ogle, Jackson Deep Squally, Alex Hinton behind the camera. Follow us on all of our social media channels and like and subscribe. It's like and subscribe and coming on YouTube. We'll see y'all at the games. Be out there. We will be covering it, so follow us and you'll get all the updates, etc.
Clean sweep!